is season 5 of Whatever She's Having with Linda Hoffner. This season, my bestie and co-host, Claire Sumadiwiria, is taking a little break to focus on her campaign for Bellevue City Council. So I'll be inviting special guests to the pod to talk about being fearless, showing up for ourselves, and being a champion for others' success.
For over 30 years, I've called Bellevue home. As a mother of 3, a daughter, and a small business owner who experiences our city's challenges and opportunities firsthand. Bellevue stands at a crossroad between global innovation and local connection. Our strength comes from building bridges between corporate towers and family businesses, between longtime residents and newcomers with fresh perspectives. My priorities are clear: public safety, education, sustainable growth, and quality of life for all. These aren't partisan issues. They are Bellevue challenges, requiring collaborative solutions crafted together. As your appointed council member, I've worked to ensure every voice is heard, to build a Bellevue where everyone belongs, where global vision and local value strengthens each other. I'm Claire Sumadiwiria, and I believe in a Bellevue that's together, innovative and inclusive, global and local. Let's build our future together. I'm Claire Sumadiwiria. I'm running for Bellevue City Council.
This podcast is proudly presented by 425 Magazine, our amazing podcast partner who continues to support our platform and mission of celebrating empowering friendships. I am so excited that my guest today is Gerald Smiley, former Texas Ranger pitcher, Major League Baseball scout, certified mental performance mastery coach, keynote speaker, author, and social entrepreneur. Gerald played for the Rangers from 2001 to 2005 and has been giving back to the sports community ever since. He mentors young athletes through performance coaching and works with seasoned professional athletes on their philanthropic giving through the company he founded called Chip In. This guy does it all and seems to keep a level head and humble heart. Thank you so much for coming. I know you just got off a flight. You've had a busy travel and you're working towards moving, it sounds like. So yes. I appreciate you saying yes. I really do.
We appreciate you having me too.
And, you know, it's interesting because we met at Fox 13 Studio Live. Wow. Claire and I were waiting to go we were in the green room waiting to go in to talk to Maria and Carly about our podcast I guess it was last fall, almost a year ago now. Yeah. And you were there to talk about your Chip In company. So kind of tell us about that and your career with baseball and how you got into that. Number one, it's just really good to see you again.
Likewise. You look good. You're feeling good.
Yeah.
You're glowing. You did the 75 hard also.
I did do the 75 hard
yes.
After seeing you do it. So you inspired me to do that.
Amen.
And that is a hard challenge.
It is.
When we were filming this podcast last season, I was in the middle of it. So
how were you feeling during that process when you were filming and still going through all those new changes?
You know, it was great. The hardest thing for me initially was the water drinking. Yeah. Because I wasn't a very good water drinker.
Same here.
And it's so much water.
Yep.
And I wish that I could sit here and tell you that I have continued to drink a gallon of water every day, but
it's hard.
I have not. I need to be better. I need to go back.
It's hard.
And the rest of it was challenging, but like once you got in a rhythm, it was like, okay, this is just what I do.
Yeah.
Right. I had a lot of social events. So the not drinking part was also challenging, but I would just literally carry my Stanley with me wherever I went. And I was like the crazy Stanley water lady. And everybody's like, are you getting a drink? And I'm like, 75 hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I carried my gallon of water around. And everyone's like, really? What is all that?
Yeah.
Are you drinking? Like, why do you have that? We have water here. It's like discipline over motivation.
Yes.
Though, right?
100%. Oh. And I will say, like, I was 100% in on the 75 hard. Like, I did it. I completed it. I did not cheat. And then, slowly was like, all right, I'll have a drink at this social event. And
Yep.
now, like, I tell you what, after you turn 40, it's like you feel like crap.
Yep.
You don't sleep well.
True story.
And it's like, why am I doing this?
Yep.
Like,
True.
was that glass of wine really worth it? Like, no, not really.
That's a real thing too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the baseball side, the journey that you were talking about,
Yeah.
the journey really started when I was 9.
9.
Yeah, I was 9.
Little league?
Yeah. I started playing when I was 6, but my real journey
Sure.
started at 9. I remember playing up 2 years ahead of my age group this day, and I was pitching against an 11U team. I had 8 strikeouts. The ball was coming out of my hand fast.
So that would have been probably, is that your first year of kid pitch at 9?
That was my 3rd year. Yeah, I started throwing at 7 and then 8 because
They were letting you throw at 7.
Oh yeah. We didn't
Wow.
do machine pitch.
Oh, okay.
back
Not
then.
all the cheesy stuff they do now.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing for us
Yeah.
back then. But yeah, I just remember that day specifically. You know, we got the win, and this 6'5" guy was about 4'9". The opposing coach was about 6'5", and after the game, he walked up to me and he kneeled down, and in front of me, he stuck his hand out like this and got on a knee, and he looked me dead in my eye and he said, "You have a shot, kid. I'm gonna see you on TV one day." And I was
No
like,
way. At 9 years old.
yeah, I was 9 years old. And I was like, wow. And that was the first day I've ever really felt proud of myself, too, as just a human being.
Yeah.
And just watching the older kids, my brother was older and everyone else playing above me, and just watching King Griffey Jr. and everyone else on TV. I wanted to play on TV. And that guy told me he would see me one day. So even through my darkest moments as an athlete growing up, you know, you're a student and an athlete, right? Student comes first. And just through all the days of wanting to quit or give up, not knowing why you're pushing so hard, why you're training so much, with this finish line really not in sight, but you know it's somewhere, which I feel like that's what we call faith, right? Continuing to believe and push towards something that you don't see yet. But fast forward, you know, I was just able to be around some good coaches, good mentors. And I was playing in the Kingdom as a kid. We played for RBI for the Mariners.
Oh, amazing.
It's called Rejuvenizing Baseball in the inner city. And myself and a bunch of teammates, that was our first year when they first started that Mariners club. And back,
What are you, like high school at this point, or what?
no, we're 12 years old.
Oh, middle school.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're 12 years old playing in
Wow.
the Kingdom.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a big eye opener too. You know, King Griffey Jr. would sit down with us. Randy Johnson would come in the dugout. Edgar Martinez, a bunch of guys, and the opposing team would come over and sit with us because we would play before their games.
Oh, okay.
So they would come early and come and watch us, and they would give us feedback, tips, how to fix this. If I were you, I would try this and that. And that gave me a different level of hope in my teammates that we're not just watching these guys on TV, they're actually coaching us right now. They weren't our coach for our team, but they would give us nuggets. And it gave you a different level of hope that you could actually become that. And then I just always carried that. My brother and kids in the community, we'd play in the front yard of my mom and dad's house. And I remember we would make a home plate, and inside of our yard, we made a first base, a second base, and a third base. Here was the rockery. And looking out from home plate, there was a road on the other side of our rockery. That was our home run fence.
Oh, yeah.
So back then, we would always say, hey, I'm going to be like Griffey, or I'm going to be like whoever. And you had to bat and stand like whoever that hitter was. You had to mimic that hitter.
Yeah.
And then they'd pitch it, and whatever happened. So fast forward, I just knew I wanted to be a professional athlete. I didn't really know what sport, because basketball and football was also a passion of mine. And I thought I was going to go play NBA and basketball my whole life. That was what I wanted to do. You know, growing up playing with Nate Robinson, playing against Jamal Crawford, Brandon Roy, all those guys. There wasn't a day as a kid where you could just show up to a park and just be a kid and just play for fun. These guys in the community would push you and make you better because they wanted the same thing out of life. And where I grew up in low income housing, in low income community, sometimes that's your only way out is sports. If you don't see anything else, or you don't have another pathway that looks clear to you. So there was no such thing as, hey, let's just go meet up and have fun. It was like, hey, we got to get better. And you knew those kids in the community were coming to bring their best, so you couldn't bring nothing short from your best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then fast forward, I signed at Florida State University, full scholarship there. Got drafted in the 9th round of the Major League Draft, 261st pick overall to the Texas Rangers.
Sorry, just to take a step back, what made you then say baseball is what I'm doing? I mean, did somebody tell you that baseball was the sport you should go all in on?
Yeah.
Because if you're a multi-talented athlete, that's a hard decision. Like,
It was very
what do
hard.
you pour your heart into?
It was very hard. And again, basketball was my first love.
Yeah.
And I had scholarships in all 3 sports.
You did?
Yeah, my junior year.
Oh, you're like a real sports badass.
God gives us all talents, and he asks us to multiply them.
I'm still waiting for my talents. What
Oh,
did you
whatever.
give me talents?
So yeah, it was my junior year, and the writing was really all were coming to my games. They was my football games. They started coming to my basketball games, and the Yankee scout my junior year was like, "Hey, you need to make a decision here," and I was like, "Why?" And Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson, like those are guys that were my idols.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a 2-sport athlete in college too. But life just gets real with you at some point where you have to see what's best for yourself and your family, and you hope it's the right one. So the writing was on the wall that you have a better chance to go play baseball than it is NBA. And I'm not 6'5", I'm not 6'7" point guard, but I don't know. Baseball was the path, and it's still still my love. It's still my passion. And I learned a lot through that phase of my life. They come and get you as an 18-year-old kid. You know nothing.
Yeah.
But you think you know everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I've had a 21-year-old, so I've been there and done that phase.
It's real. But as you get older, you start to see all the things you don't know.
Yeah.
All the things you thought you knew was right, or I don't know. You're always evolving to be this continuous learner in life, and I think those are the ones that actually get fed. But got to play 5 years. I had 2 elbow surgeries, a shoulder surgery, and you become a bad investment to the company at some point, right? And God just said, go figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. So coached college for 8 years. Scouted for Major League Baseball teams for 7. Had an indoor baseball academy, and my mom had got sick in 2016, and that's when I actually moved back to Seattle after I heard she was getting sick and had to take care of her before she died on my birthday in 2017.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But yeah, baseball I feel like that's still the best sport out there. A lot of people will.
Well, it's a fun year to be a Mariner fan right now. I will tell you that. It's very fun.
They're hot. We hope they keep that going. Right now they're in first place all by themselves. And
we're obsessed in our house. So
yeah, they got the pieces.
Yeah, they
really do.
For the first time, it feels like they could come together.
Yeah.
So there's so much that I want to unpack in what you said, but I think it's really interesting to hear, there's so much pressure that goes on these young athletes to pick a sport. And even now, like, I'm shocked to hear that you were able to get through high school playing 3 sports, because it feels like now you're like 9 and 10 and they're like, what is it going to be? Because you're either playing select or you're not going to make it. Right. And the ratio or the percentage of kids who actually make it is so small.
Correct.
And as a parent, and especially like back in our day, like I feel like it was fun, right? Sports was like a fun outlet, and there wasn't the same kind of pressure. Maybe there was, and I just was never good enough to be in that realm when it was pressure like that. But watching my kids go through that and having to, choose a sport very, very young that they wanted to focus on. And then what oftentimes happened is by the time these kids got to high school, they were burnt out. And they didn't want to play anymore. And half the kids my son went to school with that we thought would play college sports didn't, because they quit before then.
Yeah.
And then here he was as a soccer player, and he didn't really get serious about it. He was a goalie until like his high school years. And he's the one that walked away with a scholarship.
Amen.
And it was amazing, but it was really sad to see all the kids that were really natural athletes just be like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's hard. The burnout is real.
Yeah.
You know, and I talk about that in my book that just got launched. But I feel like parents play a role in that burnout too, because we're actually the ones that get to dictate their schedule out of it.
Play a huge role.
We do. We are allowed to say yay. We're allowed to say no. And
how much of it is us living vicariously through them, right?
A lot of parents do that.
Yeah.
A lot of parents do that. But I feel like you have to see when your child's getting burnt out. There's a lot of signs, and some parents aren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not picking up certain things,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's sports burnout or anything else. Like there's something off with my kid here.
Yeah.
I can just tell.
Yeah.
But no, burnout is a real thing too, because back in 2008, recession hit. And then that's when you see all these sports teams come on the market, and there's facilities on every corner. And everyone said, hey, I lost all my 401k. I lost all this money. What can I do that's a recession-proof business? Ding, 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 got it, children. So they make money off the bat bags, the socks, the uniforms, the block of hotel rooms you got to stay in.
Yeah.
You got to pay my bills all year round because we're going to play all year round. And, oh, by the way, we're going to go do this training and that and that. And then,
the extra trainings and the...
I mean, if I'm already paying you as a coach to train my child, like, I shouldn't have to always only have to get extra private lessons for my son to actually play or my daughter to actually play. Yeah. Like, so there's a lot going on out there. But yeah, burnout is, and the data is showing us that kids are really quitting by 13.
Yeah.
Now.
It's so sad.
And that's too early.
It's too early.
Yeah,
because they need that in their life. There's so many benefits of playing
so many
sports.
life lessons to learn through sports.
Even if you don't, play college or whatever, just
don't have
getting
to be.
through. Yeah, we've always been promoting sports but letting our kids figure out which one is right for them.
I'm proud of you guys for that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Some parents won't allow their children to do that.
Yeah. My youngest decided to go into hockey, and we were like, we don't know anything about hockey, but okay.
I support you. I love you. We'll do this together.
Yeah.
And if this is something you're really going to commit to, mom and dad will commit to it too.
Exactly. And that's exactly the conversation. Like, I'm going to put in what you put in. So if you don't put in much, I'm not going to put in much. But he's really taken to it. And I mean, literally, he didn't know how to skate when he decided he wanted to play hockey. And it was the Kraken, right? The Kraken made a lot of people want to learn how to play hockey.
That's powerful, though.
Yeah. And
he believed in himself and said, I'm going to try this.
And we were shocked because we did not think he would put in the work, and he did. So that was amazing.
Amen. A lot of kids feel like their parents want them to be famous.
Yeah, no,
and they put that extra added... But
But
they put that added pressure on themselves, right?
Yeah. I got to be this great athlete. I got to do the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they put that added pressure on themselves. Like I have to be famous because mom and dad are making me, mom and dad are paying for all these things, or I'm comparing myself to my friends on Instagram and watching their highlights and likes and comments. Are they getting committed and signed to go play somewhere? And just be you.
Yeah.
Everything will take care of itself.
The other thing that can really kill it is the coaches. The school that my son got recruited to play college soccer for right out of high school, he was so excited about going there. Small little school in Oregon. He literally didn't apply to any other schools because he got the offer early his senior year, and he was like, "This is where I'm going." And we were like, "This is so great! We're so excited." And after 2 seasons, there was nepotism. There was not good coaching.
That'll kill it.
And it killed it.
It will.
And it was an NAIA school, so not your D1.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. We were just like excited he got to continue doing what he loved, right?
Amen.
We didn't even know if he was going to play. We weren't pushing him to play college sports.
He definitely has the genes, so he's going to get there.
Yeah. But then he went to transfer to Point Loma in San Diego, not for soccer, for the school, and ended up asking the team if he could just train with them. They saw that he was a good goalie, and they were like,
I need you.
You want to be our backup goalie. And he was an RA. That's how he was paying for it. Because I was like, that's great. You want to go to the 6th school that's triple the cost of the other school. Like, how are you contributing to this? So he became an RA, and they don't typically let them play sports because it's a job itself. And they were like, well, you can't travel with us, but you can practice with the team. You'll be on the team. And that was a D2 school. Amen. And so for him, it was all about the confidence of knowing he was good enough to get there. And then this is his senior year, and he's like, I'm not going to play. I don't want to play professionally. I needed that for myself last year. And this year, he's studying sports marketing. So he wants to stay in the soccer world and do the marketing side of it. And so he's like, I really just want to make as many connections as I can.
He's going to crush it.
And get ready. But anyway,
He's
really,
crush it.
Yeah, thank you. But the coaching it's so hard to see that from somebody that you entrust your kids with.
It is. It's hard, especially not just select sports, but even at high schools, right?
Yeah.
And these boundary lines that parents are being confined to boundary-wise where you live, but you're not making a good hire as a coach that trains my child that's supposed to be player development.
Yeah.
To take their God-given talent to the next level.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the kids making you look good on your resume as the coach.
Right.
Winning all these games. Like, how are you developing these young children? But the children are actually being hurt by the decisions that these athletic directors are making, thinking that's the right hire.
Yep.
And there's not enough homework being done on these individuals as far as their knowledge of player development.
Right.
You got to coach the player, skills and training that comes with being a coach, but you got to coach the human being.
Which
also
goes into this whole mental performance, right? Like, there's a great segue into that, because that can also, the bad coaching can take a toll on your mental performance and just put you in a tailspin. So I want to get into kind of how you got into that. And I will tell you that in 2017, I got hypnotized. Oh, wow. And I was dealing with kind of some self-doubt, like we all do. Okay. And I had, a pretty toxic boss at the time. And I had kind of tried the traditional, like, counseling and talking through it. And somebody that I know suggested, like, have you ever thought of hypnotherapy? Wow. And I was like, well, I got hypnotized in high school on the state fair stage. But no, I hadn't considered that. And so I gave it a try. And, I found out through the hypnotherapist, who also did a lot of sports hypnotherapy, that a lot of athletes go through this too, because it's so much about, like, the mental dump of these negative feelings, right? That's very hard to do through traditional counseling methods because it's a long process. Whereas when you can go in and just actually alter how the mind is thinking about whatever topic, like, amazing progress can be made in a relatively short amount of time.
Correct. And that's important, though.
Yeah. And it changed my life. Like, I literally would not be who I am today or sitting here right now had I not had that shift to get out of this self-doubt.
Shout out to whoever you were that hypnotized Linda.
Yeah.
Great job.
So I want to hear about how you got into this. What does that look like for you? And was it, knowing that you had to leave your career probably earlier than you would have liked,
for sure, yeah.
That takes a mental toll. Like, tell me about how this all came about.
Yeah. When I played, mental performance really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It just started to, like,
I was going to say, it's a bigger thing now. Like, it's a hot buzz thing now.
Yeah, it just started to really catch right as I was headed out. My mental performance coach that I had is Don Cockstein. He's the mental performance coach for the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, wow. And
he's been in the space for a long time. And he was with us with the Texas Rangers. I was a kid that I had to survive and fight for myself all the time. I had to protect myself all the time. I didn't trust a lot of people because of my upbringing, and I had to be sheltered and guarded. And as a young boy, you're taught, like, don't cry, don't be a sissy, don't be weak, don't show emotion, and those things aren't real, right? Like, it's okay to have that moment. Don't get stuck there, but what do you do with that when you have that emotion? Because everyone has it. But I wanted to always like bottle things up and not talk to no one about things, because when I was around people who wanted to talk, like school counselors and all those things, I knew they weren't really for me. They weren't on my side. They were just trying to figure out if, hey, this kid said he can't focus, got ADD. Put medicine
Seriously, yeah.
Just hurry up. He used those words in 2-minute conversation talking to me. And a lot of older people will blow smoke up children's, you know what?
Yeah.
And a lot of children just want you to shoot it straight because they're humans. Like, you don't have to hide all those things. So as I started to progress and get older, I reflected back on the days with my mental performance coach and my other coaches who actually talked mental performance versus just be tough or suck it up, flush it. That's cool, but what are the tools to do that?
Yeah.
And today, we didn't have the distractions that are today that these kids have. So just watching the information overload on YouTube and everywhere else and instant access, touch a button, it must be real because it's on the internet somewhere. And just watching all the kids push back with their parents who do know a lot, but kids feel like they don't. And there's a lot of pushback between the two because the kids never seen the mom or dad perform what I'm doing at my age,
Right.
but the mom and dad actually did perform a sport or said topic when they were your age. So there's a lot of pushback because you don't understand where I'm coming from. Well, we really do.
Yeah.
I'm just older than you now.
Yeah.
Like
we went through that.
I do get it. So just watch, and it just, from playing, coaching, even playing at the youth level and not just the pro level, but in scouting and just watching all the common denominators of why kids are falling apart mentally. And I was like, everyone's got a hitting coach. They got a pitching coach. They got a shooting coach. They got a goalie coach. They got a weightlifting coach.
Yeah.
There's no one teaching these kids the mental side. So I just said, hey, look, with my platform and my network, but also my heart and passion for helping other people, how do I get them wired in? My career is over. How do we help them make sure they don't fall on landmines that are laid out in our sports industry world where I don't know where they're laying, and that one little landmine can ruin your whole career
Yeah.
in a split second because you didn't have tools or you didn't have awareness to know where you were at today mentally in your sport or even at work or in your business. But for me, the awareness is the most important part because when we can be aware of it, then we can give you the tools to reset, refocus, and release within 15 seconds or less in baseball, or sometimes in basketball, it's way quicker than that, depending on the shot clock. But the greatest athletes in the world know the mind controls the physical aspect of it. And that's just, you'll hear people and they'll always say, well, physical, what about your physical? How you feel physically or how you feel mentally? Well, they really go together.
Yeah.
But we're not training the mental side.
Yeah. I've gotten into like distance running and I ran my first marathon this year.
Man, proud of you.
And thank you. And it's like your
grind.
legs are just going to do the thing. Right. But it's like, okay, I ran 26.2 miles. Right. But there's ultra runners who are running. Okay. While I was training for that, I got really into listening to David Goggins' book.
Okay, I have to look him up.
He's the guy that's like the Navy SEAL.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, interesting guy. He's a little, he's a lot, and he will say he's a lot in terms of like, he's very confident, very almost like borderline cocky, but his story is really amazing.
I feel like you have to be, though.
Yeah. He is a pretty incredible athlete. But it was so much about that of like when you're running, you're training your mind that like one foot in front of the other. And there's so much to the power of the mind that most people let get soft.
They do.
Yeah. And it's the biggest like muscle in our body is your mind, right? And so
Biggest
much
blessing that you have too,
Yeah.
if you use it right.
If you use it right. I also really believe in the power of manifestation,
Amen.
which is through the mind, right? And being able to focus on thought and intention, and watching that come to fruition. And when it happens, it's undeniable, right? And
there's an action that has to go with that manifestation too, though.
Yes. But because you're putting in the work through the mind, right? Then you're training your mind to say, like, this is going to happen for you, right?
Amen.
Not just like, I'm going to be the queen of the world one day and all of a sudden you are. Yeah. Like you have to put focus on it. But, you know, it really like came to light for me back in 2020, early in January of 2020. I'd read a book called Girl Stop Apologizing. And the author like had this exercise in the book, and it was write down who you want to be in 10 years, like very descriptive version of who you want to be.
Is it a future letter to yourself or just
kind of, I'm not really a letter, but just like detail it out.
Okay.
And then what are 10 goals you would need to accomplish to be that person? And then, or 10 dreams that you want to achieve that would help you be that person. And what is one goal that would help you achieve one of the dreams? So it's called the 10-10-1.
Okay.
And I did this, and part of the practice is to rewrite the 10 dreams every day. So I wrote them like every day for a couple months, and then I like put it away and stopped doing it, right? And in January of this year, so 5 years later, I found that journal. Like I was digging through my junk drawer and found it. And I started looking at the list, and I was like, oh my God, I have almost done all 10 of these in half the time in 5 years. And it was because I had put I took the time, which was a couple months of it, in grinding it into my head, that I just started doing the things that would lead me to that.
Intentional focus.
Intentional focus. And one was becoming Mrs. Washington, and one was climbing Mount Rainier, and one was running a marathon, and like all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that it came from that list.
Amen.
And
it connected to your subconscious mind, though.
Yeah. And so there's so much power in that. So when I read that you are doing like that performance mental coaching and stuff, it really resonated with me because it's not just a skill for athletes or young adults. Like we all can benefit from this, and you can do it at any age.
Even myself.
Yeah. And you learn it.
We all have blind spots.
Yeah.
We all have them.
All have blind spots.
That's why they're called blind spots.
Yeah.
But when we can have awareness to know when they're creeping up on us, like red light, yellow light, green light, be aware of that before we get to the red light where we're out of control.
Right.
Everything's chaotic now. Like, are we able to find that awareness and be able to do that prior to getting to that red light? I have my athletes that I work with too. Every Sunday, I have them set an alarm clock for 8:30 p.m. And that alarm clock is for them to tell themselves start, stop, continue. It's kind of the 10 dreams you were talking about, right? So at 8:30, I have an app, so all my clients, they'll when they type in things, I get notifications knowing if they're doing their habits daily, if they're on track.
Yeah.
So next time we meet, I know what to talk about. But they also get my daily habits that I complete every day with my tasks. It's accountability partnership.
Oh, I love that.
But the 8:30 is, what do I need to start doing that I'm not doing that's going to get me to my goal?
Yep.
What do I need to stop doing that isn't helping me get there? And let's assess what I need to continue doing, because these things are working for me, and continue doing those. And if we can do that on a weekly basis, each week should be a better week.
Yeah.
And if we're stacking 1% daily habits every day just to get better,
it's compounding.
That 8:30 alarm clock on Sunday is powerful. And I have my athletes, they say, hey, I have no idea, but I am locked in now.
Yeah.
And it's just the power of what you said earlier about yourself. Like, wow, I did these in 5 years, didn't even know it came from my list. I forgot.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it every single, and you know what you're doing. Your subconscious mind speaks to your soul, like, I have to do this. And it really comes down to, what are my non-negotiables?
Yes.
Huge. Out of my start, stop, continue list that I will not budge on.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. Why
there's a lot of crap you can weed out.
There is.
Yeah.
But, Linda, I always ask kids too, like, when I go speak to schools and stuff or teams, like, raise your hand if you want to be good. Everyone raises their hand. Raise your hand if you want to be great. They all raise their hand. Okay, raise your hand if you want to be a legend one day. They all raise your hand. And I'm like, okay, well, you can't be all three.
Yeah.
So you got to pick which one you want to be. Like, you want to be good at something, you want to be great, or do you really want to be a legend at it? Which bucket are you in currently today? Where do you want to be? And really start putting some intentional focus towards becoming that. And you don't have to be a legend in whatever space you're in. Maybe you don't want that. But at least I've identified, because we know good's not good enough anymore. Not a lot of great people, but athletes or business owners, and there's definitely not a lot of legends. That's why they're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's attainable for everybody, though.
Yeah.
You got to figure out which one you want to be.
Which one? Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. So I want to talk about quickly before we end the book that you wrote, the Adult Kid Communication Journal.
Oh, yeah,
because I did get it, and my son and I are using it. Which, as we've already talked about, parenting can be hard.
It is.
And you need kind of that connection point, right? And sometimes a verbal communication when kids are still learning how to express themselves is hard. And so a written form can really kind of bring insight into their lives that you wouldn't normally get. So
in a major way.
I appreciate you for writing this book, number one.
I appreciate you.
But tell me about writing a book. Like, what was that process like? I ask you because I am on my own journey with writing a book.
Number one bestseller coming right up. Wait till she's done with it.
But I want to hear, like, that's how was that process, and what made you kind of just go for it?
Yeah, it was fearful. It was frightening. It was vulnerable. It was reliving moments in my life.
Yeah.
There was tears. There was happiness writing that. But I wrote it from a heart of, I don't want other kids to feel how I felt when I was a kid. I didn't have safe spaces to openly and authentically be myself and communicate. I grew up in an era where it was shut your mouth, do what I say, one-way conversation here. I'm the elder, and I don't believe that's real, because communication it takes two ways. It's not communicating if only one person is saying something, I feel. And I just remember getting in trouble, yelled at, screamed at, whooped, grabbed whatever, and hit me with it, and watch friends and watch kids today, and watching our suicide rates just go through the roof. And I said, I got to figure out a way where I'll never eliminate suicide, but how do I play my part in trying to reduce these numbers and allow people to feel like they're heard and they are coming from a safe space, and it's not going to be used against them later? How do we get the kid to feel loved, heard, but also how do we get the adult to feel loved and heard? And I said, I got to figure out an adult-kid communication system where we can't talk to each other until we both wrote down what we need to write down. And then I can listen from a place of understanding, my mom or my teacher or my coach or whoever the adult is that I'm sharing this with, or as the adult, whatever kid I'm sharing this with, how do I make sure I listen and understand where they're coming from? Then let's come together and talk after we wrote it. Because, yelling and screaming and cussing at them just because you're triggered as a kid or as an adult, that's not respect. It's not how we want to be treated. So, and like you said earlier, like holding on to things sometimes, and as young men, bottling up things that we should just be easy to express to some people sometimes isn't easy. But I also looked at it from a educational standpoint too, in the classrooms.
Yeah.
I was a kid they would put tallies on the chalkboard, right? And I knew, and the teacher knew, and if I got the third one, I had to go to the office or something, right? And that comes with a level of embarrassment too, and the kids start to know. And so can the teacher just put this over here on this desk, and that bond between the teacher and I, we know that book is between myself and that teacher. And how do I be able to communicate? But also one of the questions in there is like, have you ever been touched or hurt physically by someone else and I don't know about it? There's so many men and women who have been physically abused and don't know how to even talk about just that, or scared or manipulated or frightened to not talk about it, or else ... would happen. So now we give them a space to say, hey, look, here's how I'm feeling. Here's what I'm going through. And, asking advice. Do you even need advice from me? Sometimes we don't need advice.
Yeah, we just need to be heard.
Sometimes we just want to be heard. And in the journal, it allows us to also identify that. Do I even need advice from you, or do I just want to talk?
Yeah, I love that.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate
you
also for doing it. But yeah.
It's intentional.
It is.
Right?
It
Intentionality
really is.
of sitting down and taking the time to do it.
It is.
It is.
But we just dropped my new book. It actually went live yesterday.
What?
Yeah, it's called The Unshakable Athlete.
Okay.
10 pain points that every student athlete has.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did see this. Yeah.
How to recognize those and how to overcome them. So, again, that's communication also. And there's 30 pages at the end for post-game checklist to mentally check in on how you did in different categories. Self-reflection. Prepare, perform, reflect, and rinse, repeat, and you got to do it all over again. But every student athlete has these pain points in this book. And, I just wish I had something like that when I was growing up. Well,
I hate that, but that is one of the more beautiful things about being an adult, is being like, who did I need in my life, and how do I show up as that person, or what tool would have been helpful, and I can help create that, which doesn't help our experience, but it certainly passes it on to the others. So
we're all on borrowed time.
We're all on borrowed time. Yes. Okay. Speaking of that, we do have to wrap up.
Amen.
But I always end the episode with rapid fire questions that you did not get ahead of time.
Let's go.
So these are really fun. Mariners or Rangers?
Rangers all day.
What?
All
Okay.
day.
I won't be mad at you for that.
Hey, we might mess around and come back and win the West this year too. It's not over yet.
Okay. What's harder, 75 hard or spring training?
Oh, 75 hard for sure.
Really?
Oh, for sure. For
Okay.
sure. You know.
So they're all slacking at spring training is what you're telling me.
There's a little. You still got to go about your business the right way. But yeah, 75 hard for sure. That discipline is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, it is. Okay, at this age, playing basketball or playing baseball?
Basketball. At this age, definitely.
You're hooping it up.
I'm hooping it.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you know Norris Frederick, he's a phenomenal
that
athlete.
clown, yeah.
Olympian and all those things, All-American. Like, he don't want this smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever see him, just let him know. Like,
I'll let him know.
I'll
put in a
challenge
word.
him any day of the week.
Okay, love it. Okay, last question is best pregame ritual.
Breathing, and your favorite music.
Music.
Get your
It always
breathing.
comes to music.
Yeah,
Good
breathing
tunes.
techniques, and you gotta get in your groove. I've had teammates listen to spa meditation music before a game, and that got them pumped. Like, that would put me to sleep.
I've had friends who run with classical music, and I'm
Yeah.
like, really? Okay,
Yeah.
you do you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely breathing and music.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Every episode ends with a quote. So this week's quote, of course, has to be from an athlete. And it's from Wayne Gretzky. Shout out to my son in hockey. And it is, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I love this quote. The hardest thing that we can do is often taking that first shot, taking the first chance on our lives, whether it's in sports or whatever. So I think it's, I'm inspired by your willingness to be vulnerable enough to try.
I appreciate that. Likewise, I feel like you have a split second to decide anything you want, and it can change literally that fast for the good or the worse. But really, you just have to decide.
Yeah.
That first step is what you're talking about.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well,
it's been
course.
a joy.
When you said, hey, would I said, of course, that's a no-brainer.
I appreciate
We
that.
support you. We love you, all that you do, and continue to inspire others, and just keep building the community you're building, and we will support you always till the end.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
On that note, we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.